Plants are all around us. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a plant?
Not really, no.
Yeah, me either. But we did a video with world famous, YouTube famous, gardener Scott.
I put onions in the ground.
That's right, the one and only gardening god blessed us with a collaboration. With no clue what was in store for us, but we figured we'd just wing it. We also didn't have lav mics at the time, so the intro we recorded kind of looked like this.
Hi, it's good to see you. You made it.
You too.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
How's the journey going?
Gardener Scott has been gardening for over 35 years and has 492 videos on his 370,000 subscriber YouTube channel, covering everything he's learned about gardening, from taking care of your soil, to making jalapeno candy, to planting worms. Scott has got you covered.
Sounds like he'd be a pretty good dad, huh?
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Okay, so my garden is set up in rooms. That's the way I like to garden, is to have different sections with different purposes. And so this is the main entrance. We walk through the arch. We have strawberries growing here, grapevine that hopefully in the next couple years will cover this area. And as we get into the main garden area, we can actually venture in a couple different directions. So you go that direction and you get to the greenhouse, and we'll see the greenhouse here in just a sec. And you go in that direction, and that's the vegetable garden with cucumbers and the tomatoes and the squash and all that kind of cool stuff. So which way?
We went to the greenhouse first. Scott also told us how everyone thinks that the greenhouse is for heat during the winter, because you know, insulation and stuff.
It's cold.
But on the other side of things, it gets super toasty. Super hot during the summer, so he puts up a shade net to protect the plants. Next up, Gardener Scott told us about these.
Out of 1 million Scoville pepper. And one of the things, easy way, it's not always true, but if you look at these peppers, the super hot ones, like this one, it's got like a scorpion stinger on it.
These peppers are hot. Fun fact, when you eat things that are spicy, it's not actually spice that you're tasting. Your brain literally thinks you're on fire. Luckily, this is just your body's defense mechanism and you aren't actually dying in most cases. Scott also has friends in foreign countries that he does gardening experiments with.
And action!
Hey guys, my friend sent me this tree from across the pond. We're seeing how it grows in different parts of the world.
Hello, I am growing the same tree, but from across the pond. Let's see what changes the environment make.
It's day 2. As you can see, my tree's gotten a lot larger after some tips from the local natives. Let's check in on Hogan.
My tree has made friends. Seems to be a powerhouse of sorts. All the little trees.
It's day 3 and I don't know what happened, but my tree's written a declaration of some sort. Pop on it.
Oh no, my tree doesn't like the declaration, but it started growing tea. This doesn't make any sense. My tree's tea is in the pond. How did it try to impose a tax? Sacre bleu! My tree has mutiny! Oui, oui! Baguette! Baguette!
Camera, I like do the fake sit. They were only trees.
This is an experiment that I'm doing. I have some friends in Scotland, and these are Oases grow boxes. They actually come from England.
Oh.
And so they sent me these boxes, and they're doing the same thing with the same plants in their greenhouse in Scotland to see the differences in our environments. And so their summers are so much cooler there that they don't have to battle the heat. And so, but the plants are doing okay, but they're struggling a little bit compared to some of the other garden plants because they're growing in a pot in a greenhouse.
Yeah. And do your black cherry tomatoes, do they tend to grow better?
Cool. So these are columnar apple trees. And so in the background over there, I have some apple trees that will actually get to full size apple tree size. But these are a special type of apple tree that will just be a column. It only gets about...
Now this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. These trees are literally like banana trees, but with freaking apples. They also only take 3 years. 3 years? Is that right? 3 years to grow. The key to gardening is patience and willpower. Growing these things takes a long time, but as gardener Scott was soon to prove, it's worth the wait.
So patience is what gardening is all about.
We then munched on some mint leaves.
Mint leaves, and again, fresh is so much better than what you can get anyplace else.
So you can eat the leaves?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like chewing gum. Better in the spring when they're young and they're packed with that mint flavor. But yeah, completely edible.
And then we learned that garlic takes approximately 9 months to grow. But as we said earlier,
Patience. Hill in Colorado. So I designed this whole garden section with the hail in mind. I've just lost too many gardens over the years with devastation from hail. And so this is a heavy duty hail cloth. So one of the coolest things I think is cool, and I know you think it's cool, is the plant types. So I've talked about the different tomatoes, fewer varieties this year by comparison. But one thing that I'm working on right now is this one. And the leaf is completely different. So this is a different tomato right here. This is a tomato called Kellogg's Breakfast. And this leaf is pretty typical of a tomato leaf. It's small, it's kind of jagged, and when you compare it to the leaf of this tomato, it's completely different. So this is much, much larger and much smoother, and this came from a genetic mutation that I discovered in the thousands of tomato plants that I've grown over the years about 5 years ago. And so I grew this plant from a seedling with this weird genetic mutation of the leaf. It's called a potato leaf in the tomato plant. And I've saved the seeds each year now. This is the 4th generation of this plant. And I'm trying to see if I can stabilize the genetics to get a wonderful tomato.
Now you might be thinking, Gardener Scott, of course they have different types of leaves. It's because they're different tomatoes. Wrong! These bad boys are genetically mutated from the same tomato plant. That's right, give Gardener Scott a few more weeks, years, and he's gonna have the coolest tomato plants ever. Plants you ever did seesaw. Yeah.
Let's go Galileos.
We then sat down and had a long talk about YouTube, gardening, and some touchy topics. If you're a gardener or just out in the sun, I highly suggest checking out Scott's video on skin cancer, and the link will be down below. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Gardener Scott, for hosting us.
Thank you.